Hello, beautiful viewers, down south throughout the cosmos. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, let me elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this tangible box? Well, let me demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now. I'm going to render the contents of the box transparent. Here we go. Now that an aperture has been made, I can extract the items from the box. I purchased a myriad of DC Universe action figures via eBay. I purchased them in lots. First action figure that I'm flaunting, a part of one of the lots I purchased, is known by the moniker of Stel. You can verify that for yourself. He is a Green Lantern, apparently. His ring denotes that he's a Green Lantern. He's likely a valiant, noble, heroic, stoic warrior. Is he an android? He most likely is an android. This is a Build-A-Figure Stel. I believe that another Stel was released that was not a Build-A-Figure. If you purchased a whole set of figurines, a part of a particular series, then apparently you would have been eligible to assemble your own Build-A-Figure Stel. Here he is. He has ample points of articulation. He can swivel at the wrist. He has a bit of an ab crunch. He has rotation on the head, or at the head. He can rotate his biceps. This really isn't a bad figure. It likely stands at least 9 inches tall. The diaphragm cannot really rotate by itself. The waist has some rotation though. His integrity does not appear to have been compromised. He's intact. Is he in pristine condition? Practically. Is he unscathed? Practically. I did not detect or notice any major paint splotches, nor any major scratches. He may have some minor flaws aesthetically, but I don't notice any pivotal flaws about the figurine. His fists are clenched together. He lacks finger joint articulation, which is unfortunate. He's not on par with Galactus in terms of articulation, but as an added bonus for purchasing an entire series of DC Universe Classics figurines, this figurine is not abysmal. It provides consumers with unprecedented value. Didn't you always want to acquire a Build-A-Figure Stel? I think he's a part of the DC Universe Classics line. You can verify that for yourself. But the other figurines that I'm going to show you are a part of the DC Universe Classics line. This figurine is likely a part of that line as well. He's just a Build-A-Figure, so unless you purchase him on the second-hand market, or another version of him, you're not going to be able to acquire this particular version of Stel by purchasing one DC Universe figure at a retail store. Unless you want to concede to buying the smaller version of Stel. So if you want this figurine, purchase it via eBay or buy the entire set of figures that come with his various limbs so that you could assemble him. Here he is. I love his posture. He's poised to charge into the fray of battle and decimate anyone in his path. He thwarts evil. This figurine is meritorious. It brings joy to my life. I love him. I relish playing with my Build-A-Figure Stel. I would love to spawn stop-motion videos of him in action. He can be placed into any dynamic pose that you see fit. Engaging him in melee combat will be somebody else's undoing. Let's move on. There were 3 other figures, a part of the lot that Stel came packaged in. Another figurine is another Green Lantern. I'm unsure what his moniker is. He looks like some type of alien or monster, a creature. He has a tail on the hinge that can move up and down. He has some leg rotation. His shin can rotate. His forearms cannot swivel. Actually, they can. The joint is well hidden. His wrists can swivel. He lacks finger joint articulation. He can clench his jaws together. I love his scales, his textures, and aesthetics are of the utmost highest quality. I love his hues. They contrast well with one another. This figurine is flexible in nearly all facets. He has a diaphragm joint. He can rotate 360 degrees. This is a spectacular figure. Is this the quintessential Green Lantern? I do not believe so. Even though the figurine has merit and warrants a premium price, he's not my favorite character within the DC Universe Classics action figure line. I love Hal Jordan. This is just an obscure character that I know nothing about, other than the fact that his appearance emulates a miniature dinosaur or a giant lizard or some type of alien creature. I love his scales. His claws are not very sharp, which is preferable since you do not want to cut yourself amid displaying your figurines. So this is a solid figure. It's comprised of plastic. I did not detect any major paint splotches. The paint hasn't chipped off. This is a high quality figurine. There were 2 more figurines that I purchased that were part of the lot. Which ones are they again? We have a miniature squirrel. I believe this is supposed to be a squirrel. He comes with a Green Lantern in conjunction with his ring that's already molded onto the figure. I love his sculpt. I guess this figurine is supposed to depict a miniature humanoid squirrel. I'm unsure. I'm not well acclimated with the lore behind this character. So, I presume he's a Green Lantern. I presume he's an animal. And I presume that he possesses divine capabilities since he wields one of the Green Lantern rings. That enable him to unleash devastating attacks against his adversaries. He has the audacity to ward off evil. So we have this Green Lantern warrior that perhaps is a squirrel or some type of other creature, who knows. I'll leave it at that. And then of course we have one final figurine, a part of the lot. Let's see where he is. Alright, here he is. I love his tentacles. They're relatively durable. They appear to be a bit rigid. This figurine appears to be a bit anorexic. He's certainly not bulky. Apparently he has claws jutting out of his feet. I would presume that these are claws that are being thrusted out of his feet, however I do not know. I do not read the Green Lantern comic books, nor do I read any other comic books, so all I can do is make arbitrary assumptions and presume I'm right, unless someone else can disprove me. His wrist lacks rotation. You can rotate the shin a bit. Some of his joints can rotate. His head can rotate. He has a diaphragm joint. He has knee joints. Yeah, his rotation is not egregious. His rotation capabilities exceed my expectations. He can likely out-rotate a Hasbro Marvel Legend figurine. You could place him into nearly any dynamic pose that you see fit. I would just love if he had finger joint articulation. That's my only gripe about the figurine. Other than that, I'm content with his articulation capabilities. I suppose that he could utilize more joints, but it doesn't really matter. He's just going to be consigned to a shelf and remain sedentary in one pose. I do not need to possess figurines with the capability of rotating in 40 different areas. I do not need to possess figurines that have the capability to articulate in at least 40 different areas, nor do I need to possess figurines that have the capability to rotate all of their joints. I'm not striving to produce stop motion videos with these particular figurines, so their finite articulation is not too much of an issue. Their articulation is superb, but it wouldn't make too much of a difference from my perspective. They added significantly more articulation, since they're just going to remain in one pose anyway on my shelf. I do not need to perpetually repose them. I'll just keep them in one dynamic pose until the end of time. Or until I succumb to my death. I do love this figurine. I relish looking at action figures. They are intriguing. They are marvelous. They are divine. They embody perfection. So, overall, I procured 4 DC Universe Classics figurines for a grand total of $30. Does these figurines merit the asking price? I believe so. This figurine is apparently the Build-A-Figure Stel. I'm not sure of the other monikers of the various Green Lanterns. They may be Izamat, Cole, G-Hugh, and BDG. That's likely pronounced incorrectly, but you could verify their names for yourself. These are the figurines. I have no major gripes about this purchase and decision. I'm content with it. I'm gratified with my purchase and decision. I'm satisfied that they came intact. They did not come severed. Their integrity does not seem to have been compromised. Unlike other action figures I purchased in the past, these figurines are relatively durable. They have ample points for articulation. They have quality aesthetics. These figurines have visual fidelity. Their appearances emulate their appearances in the DC comic books. So these figurines are meritorious. They warranted the asking price for under $10 per figurine. I have zero regrets about this purchasing decision. It would have been nice to have obtained them for a lower price, but it's not always possible in the second-hand market. Sellers command exorbitantly high prices for action figures. You have to concede to their demands or forgo the opportunity to add them to your collection, so it is what it is. You want to amplify your prodigious action figure collection, then add some DC Universe Classic figurines or DC Universe Classics figurines to your collection. You cannot go wrong with purchasing those. They coincide well with the 6-inch Marvel Legends collection, and they're aesthetically appealing to view, so this lot appeased me. Would you have implemented the same purchasing decision if you were in my position, or would you have forgoed it? Please let me know via the comment section beneath this video. I hope that you found this video to be enthralling and captivating. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.